Have you ever wondered if it's possible to love and hate something simultaneously? This question delves into the depths of human psychology, highlighting the fascinating dance between our conscious and unconscious selves. To illustrate this, let's turn to mythology, a realm where complex human emotions and experiences are often personified into tangible stories. Picture this. In the beginning, there was an Androgynous Ouroboros, a symbol of wholeness and unity. This Ouroboros represents the undifferentiated state of the human psyche, a realm where love and hate, good and evil, existed in harmony. This is a state of being where one is a complete individual, unseparated from the parents of the world. However, as the ego develops, it begins to identify with one of these opposing forces, repressing the other. This is akin to the Babylonian myth of the hero Marduk, who slays the chaotic Tiamat and builds the world from her pieces. Here, the ego consciousness separates from the mighty mother, akin to cutting the umbilical cord. This self-liberation, though necessary for growth, is experienced as a loss, a guilt, a sense of being cut off from a larger connection. Interestingly, this concept is also reflected in the Christian narrative of the original sin and the fall from heaven. The original unity of the world and God is torn apart due to pre-human guilt, and the world born of this rupture must suffer the punishment. This sense of loss, this existence in the world, means loneliness. Man is abandoned to the outside world. In the Gnostic worldview, this sense of loss becomes the driving force of the world. They propose a dual concept, a high spiritual part and a low material part, which forms the basis of the separation of the parents of the world. So, to summarize, the human psyche begins as an undifferentiated androgynous Ouroboros. As the ego develops, it identifies with one of the opposing forces, leaving the other unconscious. This separation, though necessary for growth and independence, is experienced as a loss and guilt. This concept is reflected in various mythologies, from the Babylonian myth of Marduk and Tiamat to the Christian narrative of the original sin. The Gnostic worldview further emphasizes this, proposing a dual concept of a high spiritual part and a low material part, which forms the basis of the separation of the parents of the world. In understanding this, we realize that love and hate, seemingly opposing forces, are two sides of the same coin, intertwined in the complex dance of human consciousness. It is only by acknowledging and accepting these dual forces within us that we can strive for wholeness and unity, just like the androgynous Ouroboros from which we began.